We are pleased to welcome you to the second annual Convocation, Central State College. The term second annual is probably not entirely correct because we have had convocations in an earlier era, but at least the second in recent times. On the way over here, I heard a freshman asking, "What is this all about?" Not having known what a convocation was, perhaps. This is a formal gathering of the students and the faculty. It gives us an opportunity early in the school year to meet in a formal occasion and to dedicate ourselves to the more serious aspects of college life. It is also an opportunity this year to officially welcome our new president and give the students and faculty a chance to hear him. I would like to first introduce our distinguished guest, the only President Emeritus of Central State College, President William C. Hanson, who retired here this summer. President Hanson. We're happy to have him with us and hope that we will see him here at the college on many occasions this year. I know he'll be at the basketball games, football games, and many other occasions. We are also pleased to see that several of our faculty emeritus have joined us in the occasion today. For the benefit of those who are new to the campus and also those who have not heard much before about our new president, I'd like to make a few remarks concerning him. He'll be introduced a little later by the president of the Student Council. Dr. James Albertson earned his bachelor's degree at Colorado State College, his master's degree there in educational administration, and his doctorate at Stanford University in 1957. He has been a social science and English teacher in Seattle, a social science critic teacher at Colorado State College. For the past 4 years prior to coming here, he was assistant to the president at Ball State Teachers College. He is one of two new presidents in the Wisconsin State College system. He also has the distinction of being the youngest of the presidents of the Wisconsin State Colleges. We know we are going to enjoy his association with the college. Those of us in administration and on the faculty have already had the pleasure of working with him for several months since he took over officially as president on July 1st of this past summer. I would now like to present Robert Davis, President of the Student Council.
Thank you very much. President Albertson, Mr. Hanson, Dean Hoffa, members of the faculty, and fellow students. I wish to thank the members of the faculty and President Albertson for making it possible for the students to be represented at this all-college convocation for 1962. This occasion, because it is marked by the full participation of the students with the faculty, provides a formal recognition by all of us of the fact that education necessarily involves both student and teacher. This student-teacher relationship is all the more significant at this college because of what is happening here today. As today's spokesman for the students, I wish to say two things. First, we students must realize more so now than ever before that we are here in order to learn. This has been impressed upon us before by others, but now through this academic convocation, we are impressing it upon ourselves. Perhaps, therefore, what we have been told before by others can now be more meaningful because we are telling this to ourselves. Second, the faculty has just heard a student asking of his fellows to fully understand something which he himself only belatedly understood. Therefore, I ask the faculty, on behalf of my fellow students, to try to realize that if we are not yet fully aware of our roles as students, it is essentially because such an awareness demands the greater maturity which your instruction helps to provide. Now, this has been said as a student to our faculty. To all of us, may I say this: I feel very strongly that sensitivity by students and faculty to each other is a vital necessity if we are to become better students, and yes, if our faculty is to become an even better faculty. Because of the growth at this college which is yet to come, and because we have entered into a new era at this institution, let us all seek newer and better means by which to foster the future well-being of students and members of the faculty. May the nature of this convocation prove to be a contribution to the realization by this college family that we have a stake in each other because the future has a stake in us. It is in this spirit of common purposefulness, I believe, that the students would want to extend to President Albertson our warmest welcome and our very best wishes for a rewarding experience as president of Wisconsin State College at Stevens Point. Thank you very much.
Our new president, Dr. James Albertson, will now give the convocation address.
President Emeritus Hanson, Mr. Haferbecker, Mr. Davis, colleagues and fellow students. Before I begin the formal address, I'd like to make a brief comment concerning the presence of President Emeritus Hanson. Mrs. Albertson made the observation this summer that having emeritus status must be somewhat similar to being a grandparent. You have opportunity to participate in all the fun, but don't have to worry for the day-to-day responsibilities. I think certainly I counted a pleasure and a privilege to share this platform this morning with him. Mr. Hanson has a long career of service to the young people of the state of Wisconsin, capped by 22 years as president of this institution. And he continues to honor his alma mater, this college, by his service to the community, by his residence here, and by his continued real interest in the college. And for this, we're all grateful. Currently, there are many who, because higher education possesses certain attributes similar to economic enterprise, tend to speak about higher education in terms familiar to business and industry. It is true that in terms of its current operating practice, as well as its traditions and history, higher education resembles other institutions of our society. Yet our colleges and universities are not to be equated with any of these. Higher education constitutes a unique institution, different from any other. Higher education is unique in that its primary objective is the preservation, the transmission, and the advancement of knowledge. True, there are resemblances to economic enterprise, just as there are to religion, to government, and welfare interests in the operations of our institutions of higher learning. However, higher education is different and unique. In pursuing the objectives of the preservation, transmission, and advancement of knowledge, higher education is committed to helping individuals develop their talents and competencies in the service of others. With this background and in this context, I would like in the next few minutes to address myself to the concept of the product of higher education, the product of institutions of higher learning, and the component parts of that product. In so doing, I do not refute that colleges and universities have a product. I do, however, take exception with my colleagues who speak of students as the products of their institutions. I would submit this morning for your consideration that the product of higher education in general, and of Wisconsin State College in particular, is an environment of learning. This has been our product here for the past 68 years and will continue to be so in the future. Environment can be defined as the aggregate of surrounding things, conditions, and influences. The components of our product, an environment of learning, can be organized according to the following classifications: things, people, and ideas. In order to better know and understand this environment, let us examine the various component parts of this. The things of our product are the physical manifestations that surround us. This gymnasium, the new science building, the residence halls, Old Main, the College Union, all the buildings are included in this component part. Also, the books, magazines, maps, pictures, laboratory equipment, the printed page, magnetic tape, paper, chalk. The trees, shrubs, and lawns of our campus should be included among the things of our environment of learning. Included in the second component, the people of the environment of learning, are the students, members of the faculty, the regents, and the citizens of the larger community in which the college campus is located, and who in turn support its programs. Students, slightly over 2,400 enrolled for this semester, coming from approximately 250 communities in the state of Wisconsin, representing over 300 different high schools, and from a dozen states outside of Wisconsin, and also from 7 or 8 foreign countries. Faculty members, approximately 150 on the professional staff, teaching in the several academic disciplines, and representing by their own academic backgrounds the environments of learning of some 26 graduate schools throughout the United States and in Germany. A faculty who, in addition to a dedication to teaching, numbers among its members those engaged in research and writing, and whose number includes many who have traveled throughout the Western Hemisphere and in Europe. A faculty whose individual members come from states scattered throughout the United States, and some who call home countries in Europe and in Asia. As indicated earlier, ideas form the third component part of our product. This environment of learning, that is, Wisconsin State College at Stevens Point. Ideas that are often expressed in terms of the desired outcomes of a learning environment, and specifically find expression in curricular patterns, course content, and co-curricular programs. Ideas that come down to us from the history of man and his search for personal freedom. Ideas expressed by the printed word, the brushstroke on the canvas, and the ordering of notes on the musical score. All of the great ideas of recorded history are available here on this campus, from the lecture in the classroom, the volume in the library, the play, the concert, or the gallery exhibit. Ideas that take on meaning for the individual in seeing, listening, feeling, and verbalizing, and that result in the liberal education of an individual student, an awareness of his past, who he is, and what he can become as a rational, intelligent human being. This briefly then is our product, our environment of learning, comprised of things, people, and ideas. What then of its qualitative aspects? How good is our environment of learning? Fortunately, in my judgment, we have learned in American higher education that there is no single criterion for evaluating the qualitative dimensions of our colleges and universities. Rather than a single standard, we hold that the criteria for evaluating quality and excellence must be multidimensional. John Gardner, president of the Carnegie Corporation and the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching, in addressing himself to the concept of excellence, states, and I quote, "Though we must make enormous concessions to individual differences in aptitude, we may properly expect that every form of education be such as to stretch the individual to the utmost of his potentialities. And we must expect each student to strive for excellence in terms of the kind of excellence that is within his reach. Here again, we must recognize that there may be excellence or shoddiness in every line of human endeavor. We must learn to honor excellence, indeed to demand it, in every socially accepted human activity, however humble the activity, and to scorn shoddiness, however exalted the activity. An excellent plumber is infinitely more admirable than an incompetent philosopher. The society which scorns excellence in plumbing, because plumbing is a humble activity, and tolerates shoddiness in philosophy, because philosophy is an exalted activity, will have neither good plumbing nor good philosophy. Neither its pipes nor its theories will hold water," end quote. I do not believe that I am taking license with Mr. Gardner's point of view when I say that we, in evaluating our environment of learning, must demand excellence in the things, the people, and the ideas that are a part of this environment. We must learn to reject shoddiness and demand excellence in all forms of endeavor here on our campus. Each of us must strive for excellence in the office, in the classroom, on the athletic field, on the stage, or in the orchestra pit. Whatever and wherever we are engaged in human endeavor, this must be our standard. We judge how good the things of our college are by the importance we attach to aesthetic qualities in planning the location and form of new buildings and the functions to be housed therein. The care we take of the campus, equipment, books and other printed material, recreational facilities, and learning laboratories. All of this reflects the extent of our concern for the quality aspects of the physical college. In a similar manner, we can evaluate the quality of the people who are a part of this environment. The faculty member is a specialist working in a community of specialists. Thus, he is required to possess a high degree of knowledge and technical skill to be applied in his service to others. The professor, in his quest for excellence, is a scholar seeking truth and accepts any existing concept of truth only tentatively. New concepts develop from further fact gathering, experimentation, and as a result of experimentation. He is tolerant of opposing points of view. He has a high standard of integrity, intellectual honesty, if you will, and practices his profession honestly and to the best of his ability. In this, he also recognizes the limits of his scholarship. He is aware of what he does not know, as well as what he does know. The scholar respects the dignity and worth of each individual, whether it be a colleague, a student, or a neighbor, and realizes that in the final analysis, learning takes place in the mind of a single human being, of an individual. Several means have been and are currently being used in evaluating the quality of students. Rank in high school, grade point averages, and scores on nationally standardized tests are often used. Based on these measures, we know that the students enrolled here this year have better academic backgrounds and come better prepared for their college experience than any group preceding them. And in this, you are to be commended. In recent years, the American college student has been the subject of considerable analysis and study. Psychologists, social psychologists, and sociologists have studied and analyzed the values, mores, aptitudes, and achievements of the American college student. Perhaps of significance for our purpose this morning is the study completed by Dr. Edward D. Eddy, Jr.